Good afternoon, everybody. I'm from the Turkish Ministry of Environment and Urbanization. Actually, this is a common presentation with me and with the head of director board of Islam groups of company. And it's a pity that he won't be here, but his distinguished colleagues of him there to support me, especially after the presentation, if you will have some questions. What we would like to present today is a brief history of STI in Turkey, milestones in the history of STI, key stakeholders, state of play, overall assessment of STI in Turkey, benchmark against the INSPIRE Directive. We would like to make a general profile of Turkey. If you would like to just view the brief history of STI in Turkey, it started in the mid-80s, and the most recent relevant development is the establishment of the General Directorate of Geographical Information Systems in the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization. So, if you a bit go further for the brief history, the NSTI seen in Turkey had been scattered for a long time, while until recently various institutions have been producing spatial data. Only some of them contribute to the spatial data infrastructure in Turkey. Over the past years, several initiatives were taken to develop components of the NSTI and to implement INSPIRE. More recently, the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization began coordinating the implementation of the INSPIRE Directive and STI at the national level. When we look at the milestones in the history of STI, in the 1980s, the first attempt to build STIs from the General Commander of Mapping with topographical data. Then in the 1990s, data on altitudes, administrative boundaries, centra of settlements, and data bank for geology were the initial examples of STI. And these, if we would like to refer to some institutions, DG Mineral Research and Exploration, and with the data bank for geology. Then in 2003, the State Planning Organization. In the meantime, I would like to inform you that last year we experienced a huge restructuring, administrative restructuring in Turkey. We have some new merging ministries, and now we don't have State Planning Organization but the Ministry of Development. Then in the former times, the State Planning Organization coordinated some action plans for Turkey called Turkey E-Transformation Project. The establishment of a national geo-portal infrastructure is one of the sub-actions of the project. And then in 2006, again, the State Planning Organization assigned the establishment of the national geo-portal infrastructure to the Ministry of Public Works and Settlements, which is our former body of the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization. In 2008, the preparatory studies perpetuated. And in 2010, a feasibility report on building the infrastructure for the national geo-portal was completed. If we go further, also in terms of the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization, in 2009, setting a task on relevant works for establishing Turkey National Geographical Information System to the Ministry of Public Works and Settlement. Then a department is established of that topic. It's called Department of Informatics and GIS. In 2011, establishment of the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization, as well as General Directorate of GIS, of former Ministry of Public Works and Settlement is done. It is a reunion of the former Ministry of Environment and Forestry and Ministry of Public Works and Settlement. You can see the key stakeholders of Turkey now. In the middle you can see our Ministry of Environment and Urbanization. These are the key stakeholders. If you remember at the beginning, I mentioned that we have several institutions to provide spatial data, but only a few of them can contribute to the SDI. These are the key stakeholders. And state of play. In addition to key stakeholders, many metropolitan municipalities and other municipalities develop their spatial data infrastructure by using various GIS-based programs. Some universities make also valuable contributions to the SDI in Turkey by various research projects and data centers. Over the past years, several initiatives were taken to develop components of NSDI and to implement INSPIRE Directive. More recently, the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization began coordinating the implementation of the INSPIRE Directive and SDI at the national level, and you are cordially welcomed here as a host of our ministry. The ministry runs two main projects in that sense, called Turkish NSDI. Actually, the former name is longer, but the content is that, and Urban Information Systems. You can see in this table the more detailed name of the institutions, key stakeholders, and the produced data. And I can give some examples. Nasıl yapacağım içinde? Bastırmayı burada. Ekranda mı? System. For example, DG Highways is using a highway information system. This is the website of their institution. Go back. I don't want to bother with all details, but if you would like to ask more questions in the coffee break, also we could do. I don't want to make you sleep. We would make this grouping of table by considering Annex 1, 2, and 3 later. As an example of macro-scale spatial plans, actually this website initially prepared by the former Ministry of Environment and Forestry, now it becomes our project and still ongoing and developing website. Okay, when we coming to the overall assessment of SDI in Turkey benchmark against the INSPIRE Directive, I can say that many public institutions are very well aware of a need for SDI in Turkey. Stakeholders are increasingly collaborating day by day or year by year. Some problems still persist in SDI, such as lack of coordination among institutions, no standardization with regard to the reference system, data format, or exchange of data. We hope we will do in as soon as possible. Data duplication, we experience too much. Limited number of spatial data in digital format. Still we are using analog data majorly. Very limited interoperability. Lack of expert personnel and budget, difficulties in sharing data. In terms of INSPIRE standards, the General Directorate of GIS plays a coordinating role. Key stakeholders have been producing spatial data in accordance with the data sets in Annex 1 and 2 of the INSPIRE Directive. Many of them are served in accordance with the standards of OGC, such as VMS and VFS. Data sets are relevant to the Annex 3 are going to be served by using the data prepared for the Annex 1 and 2. So, thanks for your interest and welcome your comments. If you would like to have further questions, you can see our coordinates. Dr. Halil Söğüt is a bit shy to give me the photo, and I think you can also find him in more Googling. Okay, this is my presentation. Thanks for listening.
I would like to thank Ebru. Are there any questions Then we will move on the last presentation.